Hey guys, welcome back to a Screenwriter's Secret Diary podcast. This is a different setup, but we're just gonna go with it. Also, I have a new mic holder. This is actually a fishing rod holder, but here we are. I just wanted to hold something in my head instead of the little thing. So let's just try it out and see what happens. Don't judge me. So today we're talking something that is very close to my heart, which is producing short films. I've produced around 10 short films and one web series so far, and there are a lot of things that I've learned throughout this journey. No matter where you are in this journey, this episode is gonna help you. Even if you're a screenwriter, YouTuber, filmmaker, artist, whatever you are, these are gonna help you. Before we talk about that, I just wanna say I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys heard in the last episode, but I'm so excited that a Screenwriter's Secret Diary is now evolving and the diary is now opening to other people's entries. Guest episodes are coming soon, so stay tuned. Tip number 1, feed your crew. This might sound very basic, but stay with me because there are a lot of people out there who make this mistake. Feeding your crew is very crucial, and this might sound like a no-brainer, but trust me, there are a lot of people out there who just overlook the crew and they don't care about it. But the vibe of the crew is directly proportional with the quality of the film that you are gonna get. Trust me on that. Your crew is literally the backbone of your film. Without them, there's no movie. So make sure they're well fed and also hydrated. Sometimes some sets that are set outside, they run out of water and nobody goes to get it. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why are you treating people that way? They need water. They need different drinks. Sometimes I even ask people beforehand, like, hey, what do you like drinking? Because people like drinking different stuff. So then according to that, I get the drinks because that's just a good thing to do. Remember, when people are hungry or not well fed, they get cranky. And that's the last thing you want on set because they're already gonna be cranky on set. The hours are long and everything, so you have to make sure they're well fed. A well-fed crew is a happy crew, we can say. And a happy crew is a productive one, which you really need. And keep in mind, most of the crew really hates eating like pizza or high carb food that make them very sleepy afterwards. Like after lunch on set, the vibe is very off usually. And that's because they're not well fed. And well fed doesn't mean like filling your stomach with pizza. It actually means getting your carbs, getting your protein, and getting your veggies. So make sure you're giving them something that is well balanced. I really make sure to have good budget for the lunch. And I usually order tender grains, which really provides the rice, the salmon, chicken, beef, or falafel, which is the protein. And they also have this salad next to it. And you know what? I send it to my crew usually, and they place their orders, and then I order for them. So that way, I'm not ordering something that is just one size fits all. They can actually choose what they're gonna eat, so they're happy. That's really important, and people overlook this all the time. One of my friends went to this set, was a producer on a student set, and these guys just didn't care about what their crew ate. My friend in the camera department, she's vegetarian, and she usually gets like a banana and a side salad just because they weren't caring enough to place an extra order for her to eat something like falafel wrap is just one order away. Vegan restaurants and proper salad with protein is just one order away, and they really just don't care about her. And it's just really sad because then your crew is gonna know you don't care about them enough, and then they're gonna just be like, well, then I'm just gonna do as much as I'm getting paid for. I'm not gonna give you my best because I'm not like getting 1,000 per day. It's not a Hollywood set, it's an indie set usually, especially short films, right? So they really do work based on how much they're being cared for. Be careful. Food, water, and drinks throughout the day, that shows how much you care about them. And also, when everyone's energy levels are up, it really creates a positive atmosphere on set. Then positivity really translates into better work ethic, and it's almost like they want to create what you want. Like they are ready to do what you want as a director and as a producer, or as a whatever you are on set. If you're in charge, that's my dog. Hi. So the positivity and taking care of them translates into better work ethic, better shots, trust me, better acting, better lighting and everything, and ultimately a better film, a better project, high quality one. So make sure you have budget for meals, snacks, drinks, and water. That's even more important than the equipment quality you have. Like, trust me on that. I worked on sets with higher equipment quality who treated their crew like shit, and they got shit quality. I worked on sets with minimum budget, but the majority of their budget went into feeding and making sure their crew and cast was okay. So this is number one tip that I'm gonna give you. Tip number 2, be mindful of everyone working for you. As a producer, you are the leader of the pack. More like you're the leader behind the scenes, overseeing everything, making sure everything goes according to plan. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. One of the most important things that I've learned is to be mindful of everyone working for you. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort, and filmmaking is also very hard. Being on set for over 10 hours, mostly 12 hours, it really is hard. It's very difficult on your body and mental health. So each person on your team is crucial and important. Even the PA, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but even the PA is important. Like, you have to know that already. That's why I'm like, why do I have to say this? But remember, even the person you're sending out to get batteries, even the person who's like getting the catering, those people are very crucial for your team and for the quality of everything that you're doing on set. These people are all contributing to your vision of the project. So what do I mean by being mindful? Make sure to check in with people. Hey, how are we doing? How are you? How is it going? Oh, are you doing good? Does anyone need water? I'll go grab one, because sometimes camera department, they don't drink water because they totally forget. They're like always like go. My friend in the camera department always says, like, as an AC, I don't get a break because I'm there when setting up and I'm there when shooting. And that is the saddest thing, because as a script supervisor, I do my thing and I leave, and while they're setting up, I go to the makeup artist, I check in with the actors, I check in with the director and stuff, but I can still get some break. But I see the DP and camera assistants, they just never get a break. Even grips get a break because they are there for the setup, and then when you start shooting, they're like, cool, we're just chilling. Let us know if you need anything. So make sure to check in with those people. Make sure to bring some water. Ask if they need any drinks or snacks, because sometimes they really cannot even get up to go to the restroom or get something to drink or eat. Being mindful also means being respectful of their time. So when people are taking a lunch break for half an hour, just don't disturb them. Don't be like, hey, is anyone okay with working through lunch? No, don't do it. That's fucked up. Don't do that to people. Let them take a break. Believe me, like, they're gonna be in a better place after 30 minutes of just sitting and not thinking about the project, because they're thinking about it already for 12 hours a day, probably multiple days, or maybe it's just one day, I don't know. But give them 30 minutes, be respectful of their time, make sure you're wrapping in 12 hours. It doesn't matter if you finish the shot list, you should have planned accordingly. I'm sorry, but you have to wrap these people up after 12 hours. And that means if you are leaving the location at the end of the day, you have to give at least 1 hour to packing up. That means 11 hours of work, and then the last hour is for packing, because you have to make sure these people start leaving exactly when you hit the 12-hour mark. That's what being mindful means. Tip number 3 for producers is be ready for everything. In one of the shoots that I was a producer for, it was an overnight shoot, and the AD started to... he was just not doing his job, really. Like, honestly speaking, he was just fooling around. I'm sorry, he really was. He was fooling around with the scripty, and they were being very weird. They were like disappearing on set. It was really weird, and it was an overnight shoot too. And my director literally took the camera from the DP and started to do his own shots, because the DP was just not listening and was just not on his best game. And then I took over the job of the AD, because the set is more important. And I literally told him, hey, you can leave. Like, you can literally go home. I got it. So as a producer, be ready for everything. Be ready to take over jobs. It really is true, especially on a short film set, especially on an indie set. I don't want this overnight shoot to go to waste. We have to get all the shots we need. So I had to step into the AD role. I had to be like, go, 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 you know, like, is everyone ready? Okay, let's shoot scene 1B, whatever. I had to be very like on top of my game, and I had to take over the AD position. And as a producer, you can take over AD's position. That's almost like what you prepare for yourself. Unless the AD is amazing. Don't get in the way of an amazing AD. I'm not saying take over AD's job all the time. If your AD is doing everything they can and they're doing an amazing job, step away. Don't get in the way of people doing their job. Just watch from afar and see if anyone needs anything. See if AD needs a second AD, and you can like kind of step in as the second AD if she needs you, she or he or they. So be ready for everything. Tip number 4, make connections with everyone. The film industry is all about relationships, and we often forget that. That's also why the first 2 tips of like being respectful to your crew and cast, it's very, very important. You are making connections with these people. You're making network. How many times did I have my filmmaker friends tell me, oh, I will never work with that producer again. I will never work with that production company again. I will never work with that writer again. I will never work with that director again or the actor again. You can actually break your own career if you don't make proper connections and if you're not respectful of people's times and efforts. So one of the best ways to ensure that you'll be successful in your career is in filmmaking and screenwriting, and as an artist probably, you have to make sure you make genuine connections on set. Be respectful of everyone's time. Be respectful in general. If anyone needs you, be there. Don't judge anyone's feelings or don't judge anyone based on anything that they might be doing wrong. Just be open to communicating. And I know there are a lot of narcissists on set, so I'm not talking about them. Honestly, I cut ties with the narcissist right away. Sometimes some of my friends go like, maybe I'll get a work through that person. No, I don't want the work. I will not let people disrespect me, especially narcissists who just thrive on disrespecting people. I will not let them disrespect me just because I can get a good job. I'm sorry. I'm not playing that game anymore. But make sure to be genuine with people as much as you can, other than people who actually disrespect you. Like that AD I talked about on the overnight set and the script supervisor, I'm done with them. Oh, I'm never seeing them again. So how to build connections on set, because it's always like go, go, go. So how to stop and actually get to know people. Well, when you're waiting in line for the restroom, you can just ask people, hey, you were the makeup artist, right? Oh my God, I love the makeup you put on the actors. How did you do that? Oh my God, are you liking the set so far? How's it going? Or like DP usually doesn't have a moment, but I usually also get to know the DP just like very quickly at the beginning. I'm like, if you need anything from me, please just like disturb me. I'm here for you. You know, I am here for you. Saying that already goes a long way because people usually don't say that. Oh my God. Talking about genuine connections on set, I worked with the sound guy this like last July or something. Oh my God. That was the worst sound guy that I've ever met. He just didn't care about making connections. He just didn't care about like getting hired. You know, I have sets too. If we had good connection, I might have hired you for several things because I also do audio drama shows and you could have been my sound guy. But you were just rude to everyone. He just like, it's almost like everyone was below him. And as a script supervisor, I have to ask the sound guy, like, was it good? What happened? Did something go wrong? Or you're in the shot, like, boom is dipping, you know? You have to, like, control your freaking boom. And I'm very kind. I don't say it that way. But he was just, like, very grumpy. I was like, boom. I was like, ugh. Like, nobody wants to work with you. Like, fuck off. So don't be like that. Please, I am begging you. Don't be like that on set. It's already annoying to be on set for 12 hours. It's fun, but like 12 hours is too much already. Your legs are hurting. Everyone is in pain. Stop being an asshole. So make sure to learn their names. For example, as a script supervisor, I usually go through the call sheet because that's what I learned. I read this book called Beyond Continuity. And in that book, she literally says to make sure to know everyone's name, especially makeup, DP, ACs, sound, costume, props, and things like that, like head of the departments that you will be in contact with, because you yourself is head of a department that has to check up on all departments. So you have to go through the list and know everyone's names. So I will recommend that to every producer out there who is producing their short film. Make sure you know these people. You're not just hiring someone for the day and like, bye. No, you're actually gonna work with them later if you continue being in this industry. You have to make connections and you have to know their names. After the project wraps, maybe send them a thank you email or connect on LinkedIn, or at the end of each set, I usually go to people that I got along with and I ask their Instagram because I'm like, hey, I do other projects and maybe we will collaborate. That sound guy did not get my Instagram. I was like, tip number 5 is going to be focus on creating a good script. A good film starts on the script. And as a producer, if you're just the producer of a short film, make sure you have a good script, okay? Don't just produce anything, just like whatever. I rejected so many producer roles because I was just like, this script is not worth my time. I'm really sorry. And most of the time, these are male writers. Us female screenwriters, we always talk about male writers who think that they can get away with writing female characters who just exist for the male character, like to serve a plot or serve the male character's journey. And I really hate that. If women on the script are not three-dimensional proper characters, I'm not producing. I'm not putting my name on anything. I'm sorry, that's a no. So have standards. Make sure you have good script. As a producer, you can give notes to the writer or to the writer director or to the director. Of course, don't push your opinion. Make sure you're producing something that you actually believe in. If you're producing your own short film, make sure to get some coverage and feedback for your script, okay? Make sure you spend enough time on your script. That's a big tip. Don't rush the writing process because the script has to be good if you want a good short film or good any project, really. Tip number 5 is make sure everything is high quality. This means acting, producing, shots, and every single crew that you're gonna hire, make sure that they are actually worth your project. It really, really is important. Like, some people think they're filmmakers, and then you look at what they've done, and I'm sorry, but it's not good. It's just not good. I've had this a lot with my co-producer, who is based in Atlanta, and she was going through a lot of resumes and a lot of reels to find crew members in Atlanta. And we couldn't find anyone. I'm not saying all of Atlanta is like filled with bad filmmakers. Of course not. I just mean, out of those people who applied as DP for our production, they just weren't good enough, because mostly the DPs that we worked with were all very high quality people. If you watched our web series, Here We Are on YouTube, the DP and the editor, who's the same person, who's my boyfriend, he's just so fucking good. So after working with high quality people, we just cannot lower our quality. And my biggest tip as a producer is, do not mess up with your quality. Like, every single tip that I gave you in this video is about making sure that your film ends up being high quality and stands out in a pool of insane short films all around the world. People just produce short films. There are a lot of short films out there, so you have to make sure yours stand out. If you have a good script and high quality people involved in production, they're gonna make it high quality. So for good acting, make sure you have a good cast. Don't just cast people because you know them and you're like, whatever. Make sure they actually fit the role. I had this with one of my projects, Bonnie Screws Up. I literally wrote the role Bonnie for an amazing actress who I knew would vibe with the character. And then after that, I went on casting. I had to cast 7 different characters. And I just had to go through everyone, and there were very talented people. I used backstage casting. There were amazingly talented people who applied, but I had to make sure that the actors fit the role and fit what I wanted from this project. So good casting is very important. Don't think about, oh, I'm breaking people's hearts. I have a friend, actually, like, she's a big actress, and I asked her to audition for different stuff, and she did. And she didn't get the role like 3 times. She only got it for Bonnie Screws Up. And no bad feelings. If there are any bad feelings after you didn't cast someone, then they're not mature enough and they need to work on themselves. Because as a writer, as a filmmaker, as an actress, you get a lot of no's and you have to know how to deal with them. Like, if you are breaking a network and breaking like a connection you have with someone just because you didn't get cast, I'm sorry. Bye. So don't think about anything else. Make sure, like, you're giving money for this production. Make sure you get the best value from that. Next is good shots. We already talked about how your DP has to know what you want. Your DP cannot be someone who's like, oh, I got it, don't worry. No. The director wants, like, as a producer, you are watching this thing unfold in front of you, where the director is like, I want this shot, and the director of photography is like, oh, I got it, don't worry. And then they do a totally different shot. It's like, have you listened to me? Did you check the shot list? Like, we met before. We did rehearsals. We did blocking rehearsals. What is going on now? Suddenly you're doing totally different stuff. Literally take over the camera. I'm sorry. I don't mean that, but dude, you gave money. Make sure you get the best quality. If your director of photography is doing something not good. Oh, I remember. Okay. I remember there was a set where I was the producer, I had the director and the DP, and we all 3 started meeting during the lunch. Don't work during the lunch, but if you're a producer, you might be working during the lunch. Or a director or a DP. Oops. Anyways, we all 3 met, and I realized that there was a disconnection between the DP and the director. It was no one's fault. It's just they had communication issues. So I started to be the moderator in their discussion. And I was like, okay, he wants this. And then the DP was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that because you didn't tell me. And the director is like, yeah, I couldn't because everything is so fast paced. And I was like, okay, that's totally fine. You know what? Let's do it again, because we already have the camera set in the same location. we can just do it again and make sure you get what you want. And then apparently there was another thing that got revealed later, which is the director hated the makeup because like it was a robot guy and stuff, and the robot guy's makeup was really, really bad, which I didn't realize. In my opinion, it was amazing, but it's the director's vision. If he's saying it's bad, then okay, it's bad. But we already got the shots, so we couldn't do anything about it. He had to just roll with it because he couldn't say it at the beginning. So yeah, there are a lot of problems like this on set that you're gonna face as a producer, and you have to be ready for everything. Everything. So many things might go wrong. So many things might be different than how you envisioned them. Especially as a producer director, you might be overwhelmed with everything. That's another thing. If you're directing a short film, make sure to hire a producer. If you're doing everything on your own, it might be hard. You don't even have to hire a producer. If you're in a film school, or you have someone, if you have a friend, for example, or a neighbor, or whatever, your partner, and if they have good management skills, then just ask them to be there and tell them what they might be doing. If they don't know filmmaking, just let them know. Just keep an eye out, act like my producer, make sure everyone is fed, bring some water, just manage us. You can just ask someone to manage you, especially on set. You can take care of producing side in pre-production, but on set, it's really good to have someone to look out for everyone, because as a director, you're just trying to make sure the film is high quality, the shots you get are good, and the acting is good. My dog is digging something. So when you prioritize quality in these areas and make sure that the crew and cast and everyone on set is happy, you're making sure that the time, energy, money, and effort that everyone is giving to this film is paying off. It's bringing value back. And there you have it, 5 or 6 essential tips that every producer has to know, especially if you're producing a short film or an indie project. Remember that filmmaking is a journey, and each set literally teaches you a skill that you need to know. Like that set I talked about where I had to jump into AD's role. I learned how to AD. And there was another set where I learned how to manage communication between different people as the producer. And on different sets, I learned that I have to feed the crew good. That's very important. You also have to, my boyfriend, who is a director, DP, and editor, at the end of each set, he asks the key roles, or his friends mostly who were a part of the crew, he asks them to genuinely let him know what was good and what was bad. And from there, he takes the feedback onto the next set. So remember that it's all about improvement. You're not gonna wake up one day and become the best producer, best writer, and best filmmaker ever. You're gonna have to work on every single skill that you have. So keep your mind open. And thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching this podcast. I'm really excited. Screenwriter's Secret Diary podcast is really growing and opening the space for different people. Well, not the next episode, but 2 episodes after that are gonna be guest episodes. So stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and send it to someone. Send it to your producer for the next project, or send it to someone who wants to be a filmmaker, screenwriter, or producer of their own short film. And I hope this helps someone out there. Thank you so much, and see you next time.